Joining us now is Pastor Tim Jones from Willow, Chicago. Good morning, Pastor. Thank you for joining us
Good morning,
this morning. So what was the push of your discussion this weekend with your parishioners?
Well, for me, I'm the millennial pastor at Willow, Chicago, so that's about 56% of our church. And the conversation is just acknowledgement, honor, respect. Black people have been in this country since about 1619. Normally that type of heritage gives you honor, gives you respect, and at the very least courtesy. And Alton Sterling didn't get that courtesy from those police officers. Philando Castile didn't get that courtesy, and that's what we wanted to talk through and talk about. Why don't black people get the same courtesy that a Dylan Roof gets?
Yeah, but that cuts both ways, does it not?
Explain a little bit more.
Well, I mean, there are instances where police feel like they should get more respect from the community when they address somebody on the street, whether they're black or white. They expect you to do what they say.
Yeah, so they have all the power, and in these cases, they want to assume as little responsibility as possible in de-escalating the situation, and that's just not fair. If you have all the power in the Dylan Roof situation, if you've ever watched that video of them apprehending him, their guns aren't drawn all the way. They're not using 5-letter words, 4-letter words. It's a gracious concierge approach to apprehending a serial killer. And again, these two men didn't get that same courtesy and concierge type of approach from these police officers.
We want to mention that before your appearances in the church this weekend, you did a couple of Facebook posts, and you said, "Get up and walk out if your place of worship does not mention the names of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile in service today." And you did this hashtag, "Say their names."
Yeah.
And you also, and some people said, well, what about the names of the police officers too?
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, no church in America is going to forget to honor those 5 men that were lost, the people that were injured in that shooting. Absolutely nobody's going to forget that. I honor those men for their sacrifice. I like the police. I call 911 whenever I'm in trouble. But sometimes we have selective amnesia when it comes to men like Philando Castile, Freddie Gray. There's this compassion fatigue for men that we feel like they didn't comply, they disobeyed, they got what they deserved.
Every police analyst we've spoken to over the last few months of this problem, all of them say that there needs to be better training for police officers.
Yeah.
We just showed some video of some of the protests in the past day or two that were violent. Does that set the Black Lives Matter campaign back at all?
Absolutely not. Overwhelmingly, these protests throughout the weekend, not just across the country, but across seas, they've been peaceful. They've been diverse. They've been gentle. I did hear about the 20 people or the cops that were injured. That sometimes it comes with mobilizing and gathering and emotion and passion. Those things come with the territory. But I don't believe any lives were lost. It wasn't a reflection of what happens when University of North Carolina wins the championship. Nobody was swinging from the goalposts, or not the goalposts, but the stoplights. Mm-hmm. No cars were burned. So it's a good protest. It's peaceful.
What do you tell parishioners? Is it just go out and more protest, the peaceful protest? Is that what's going to make things change?
Yeah, see, the church years and years ago used to be the staging ground for these movements. Now it's a distant backdrop. And that's where maybe you can see a little bit disorder or chaos, because normally the church would rein folks in. You have a couple speakers and not everybody speaking. But the church is irrelevant. It's antiquated. And Black Lives Matter, they go around the church now because they don't want to wait a day for you to pray about it and think about it. They're ready for action now.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
My pleasure.
We hope to have you back in soon. Tim Jones, thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
It is 11 minutes after 8.